On.
All right. Well, I just want to say hello and welcome to everyone. I'm Denise Ambrosco-Meda. I know many of you guys have heard my voice, either on the radio in our segments with Linda Pellegrino on Senior Radio or on the phone, because I've talked to many of you guys on the phone. So hello, it's so nice to meet you virtually. And I'm just really excited to have Jeff here today. Jeff is our amazing partner at Rocky Mountaineer, and he and I have been working hand in hand for the last 2 years to make sure that this trip is going to be the best trip you guys have ever taken. So with that, I'm going to actually hand it over to Jeff so he can share all of the amazing things about Rocky Mountaineer with you guys.
Thank you so much, Denise. Hello, everyone. Whether you're watching this live, which I can't thank you enough for your time today, or at another time that works best for you, thank you so much. Just as Denise said, I'm Jeff. Been with Rocky Mountaineer coming up to 8 years. Have a lot of great experience and background with what we offer. But no, you're working in such great hands with Denise. Not only is she a pro with luxury type of train travel, she can handle lots of different things from river cruising, ocean cruising, all inclusive. She is a one-stop shop. Honestly, fantastic experience and background, and just has so much great tools and resources to share with you. So please do connect with Denise for any questions or concerns anytime, and know that you're working with one of the best in the travel industry. So thank you, Denise, again, for all of your support. I should tell you that the presentation we're going to talk about today is really going to focus on a group departure that Denise actually put together back in 2020. We all know what happened back then. Yeah, there was this pandemic, and it's still kind of in place. And I'm hoping we're near the end of it, me being optimistic and all. But the good news is that this has been rescheduled. It is going to be happening because Rocky Mountaineer has been now operating this past 2021 season since July of the summer in the Canadian Rockies. We also expanded in 2021, offering a brand new route in the US, going from Denver into Moab, Utah, and then experiencing the incredible national parks out in the Southwest. So please know that Rocky Mountaineer is not disappearing. If anything, we are growing, we are doubling, and the future looks extremely bright. So hopefully these dates will work well with you. They honestly, this group that Denise put together for you, she's thought of everything. And so what I think is best to do is to go day by day in chronological order, talking about the hotels, talking about the tours, getting down to the details of everything, so that hopefully many questions you have, especially about the actual day-to-day experience, will be answered. And of course, there'll be time at the end of this to ask any other questions you may have. So here we go. First, who are we? We're a luxury train and tour operator based in the Canadian Rockies for coming up to 32 years, starting in 1990, and just started our new US route, as I just mentioned, this past season, 2021 in August, going until actually today. And so privately owned, we are a luxury fine dining, seamless travel experience where you'll never sleep on board. Stay in hotels every night, because if you're sleeping, you're missing the sights, the scenery, the wildlife, and the wilderness. We handle everything for you except your airfare, but know that Denise will help you with that, of course, as well, to get you up there. There's 11 seats left on this incredible trip of a lifetime that we're going to walk through with you today. So please know, if you are interested, it's a first come, first serve. And once the space is sold out, we will not be able to add any further space. The demand for the Canadian Rockies is incredible for 2022. Everyone's already refurbished their homes. They're ready to get out and see the world. Canada also is it's actually the #1 safest country in the world we live in, because over 90% of the entire population is fully vaccinated. So another big plus to traveling up north, seeing the beautiful sights and scenery, and being safe the entire time. You must be fully vaccinated to get into the country of Canada. So please understand that is a requirement from the government. Government mandates it up there. Now, the route that we're looking at today is going to be the red route. We have 3 different train routes, green being Rainforest or Gold Rush route, the blue is the Journey Through the Clouds, and the red is our first passage to the west. Know that our train average speed is 30 miles an hour. We slow down to less than 5 miles an hour for all the sights, the scenery, the wildlife, the wilderness, the waterfalls, the bridges, things that are worth slowing down for. We go to a crawl, which is quite incredible. Also, no other passenger trains are on the same train tracks that we use, which makes it quite unique and different. We're the only train that's carrying passengers that's going to be on these amazing train tracks, taking you into the Canadian Rockies. The direction you're going is eastbound, which I find is the most exciting way to to go, because when you start on the west coast and head east, the hills become mountains, then the mountains become glaciers, and the wildlife gets so much more abundant and climatic. Truly the best is yet to come. The Lake Louise, the Banff, you'll be spending a couple of nights in Banff, and of course you'll be seeing what Lake Louise has to offer, and so much other amazing tours and sites along the way. So as I said before, we're going to go in a day-by-day chronological order, and back just digest. There's one more point I wanted to make. If you like to see some great 1 to 2 minute videos, remember I said before, Denise is a source of all different tools and resources to utilize. Well, she has 1 to 2 minute videos on the classes service, which we'll talk about today, that we're utilizing. The places we're going to, 1 to 2 minute videos on Lake Louise and Banff, and of course, Vancouver, and such great other 1 to 2 minute videos that you can watch to see the highlights of what this train route is going to include. So be sure to reach out to her so that you can get that kind of information. If you haven't seen it, it's a great quick video to watch. This tour takes place May 1st, arriving in Vancouver and then leaving on May 8th. So an amazing amount of time here spent in the Canadian Rockies, where you'll fly into Vancouver. You will have a transfer taking you from the airport to the hotel, staying at the Sheraton Wall Center. This is in the middle of downtown Vancouver. Vancouver is a very clean, safe city in all regards of major cities out there in the world we live in. Lots of great restaurants to take advantage of. On this first day, you'll have free time to be able to explore. And being in the middle of the city, Vancouver's kind of on a hill and you're at the top of the hill. So it's kind of cool that no matter where you go, you walk down initially. Remember, the farther you go, the more you have to walk up. But still, it's a fantastic middle of the city location, which is great for honestly seeing what Vancouver has to offer. Your next day, you're going to wake up, you'll have breakfast at your hotel. Every day from here on out, breakfast will be taken care of for you. It's the most important meal of the day, and it gives you all that energy to go sightseeing and touring. So you're going to do a full tour, going over into the North Shore, doing the Capilano Suspension Bridge, which is an incredible bridge that kind of wobbles and shakes, but goes across 450 feet, as well as the Grouse Mountain Sky Car, the cable car, which you can see on your left. So you're going to get a great tour of the outlying area of beautiful Vancouver. You'll, of course, have time to explore the city of Vancouver, but many don't get to experience these beautiful other attributes that Vancouver has to offer. And so that's a fantastic little win right there. And then get back in the evening time to, once again, have dinner at your own accord and explore Vancouver. You may be, of course, traveling with this entire group of yours, getting to know each other, and want to share a meal with them afterwards to talk about this incredible day of sightseeing and touring. Next day, when it comes to boarding the train back in Vancouver, first, when it comes to luggage, we don't want you to burn any calories. Honestly, it's a very, I would say, seamless experience. We're going to take your luggage and put it on a truck. The only thing to bring on the train with you is your camera, camcorder, wallet, cell phone, purse, ID, medication. Keep it light and keep it simple. And when you get to places like Kamloops, which is halfway between the Vancouver and the Canadian Rockies, where you'll be overnighting, you don't even have to worry about your luggage there as well. We're going to give you your hotel room key before you even get off the train. You've already been checked into the hotel. Hop off the train, head over to the hotel and find your room. Inside your room, your luggage will be waiting for you next to your bed. In order to minimize the calories you're burning, we ask you to leave your luggage exactly how you found it next to your bed. And you'll see at the next destination, a true seamless transition, which is ideal. And that's what makes it so seamless. We'll be boarding the train at around 9 a.m., arriving in Kamloops between 5 and 6:30 p.m. and taking the incredible first passage to the west. Already stated, there's no other passenger trains on this train tracks. One of the unique sites that we go through, we're the only passenger train allowed to go through, is the spiral tunnels, which is right before you hit into Lake Louise. The spiral tunnels were built back in the 1900s, where they have figure eights zigzagging through these incredible Rocky Mountains, where most people who go visit these Canadian Rockies are near the bottom looking up. But on Rocky Mountaineer, you're near the top looking down. And we're the only passenger train allowed to go through these incredible spiral tunnels to get to the tops of these Rocky Mountains. So pretty amazing and quite unique when it comes to experiencing the train tracks that we utilize. The class of service we're going to be working with today is the Gold Leaf, which is our premium luxury class of service. It's a 2-story bi-level coach car 360-degree dome windows on the top level. You have an outdoor veranda space on all these train cars that holds easily 16 to 20 people. Go outside anytime you like, soak in that scenery as it passes by, get some great videography and pictures of all the amazing sights that you pass by. Downstairs, those big picture windows underneath the word Rocky, that's your dining area, and underneath the word Mountaineer, where there are no pictures, that is the kitchen where all your food is created. Now, I'll circle back to food in just a second. First, upstairs, you have 4 hosts or hostesses who are going to handle all the commentary, the history, the cultural facts, storytelling, jokes, keeping you entertained and aware and up to date of everything coming up ahead. You have all-inclusive alcohol. Everything on the train itself is all-inclusive. There's nothing nickel or diming, but top shelf liquor. And then when it comes to the feast for the senses, you're looking at incredible fine dining, cooked literally a few feet away from where you're sitting, made to order. 2 to 3 appetizer options, 5 to 6 entree options, and multiple dessert options that change daily for all of your meals on board. My favorite place of the train car is the outdoor viewing platform or outdoor veranda space. You can really get outside and just once again be in awe about what passes by. You have speakers out here. You hear the commentary of what's being offered inside. And it's just once again a great place to just enjoy where you are, slow time down, and the speed we're going at, there's plenty of opportunity to take lots of great pictures and video from the outdoor veranda space, which is quite ample and large in itself. When it comes to wildlife, you're going to be looking for bears, black, brown, and grizzly, moose, elk, deer, coyotes, bighorn, sheep, especially during this time of the year. Later, I will talk about spring and why, honestly, May is my favorite month to travel in the Canadian Rockies. A clue, it's all about the wildlife. Statistically, there's more wildlife sightings than any other time frame of traveling. So April and May, I should say. I'm not just saying May, but April and May. And I will talk more about the whole weather and everything. But another unique attribute of using our own train tracks is that we don't have these just for us. We do share these tracks with freight, but this works to our advantage, especially when it comes to animals. The other freight that's on our tracks is primarily carrying automobiles, produce, grain, wheat, and barley. Now, the animals you see on your screen here don't really care about the cars, but when that produce, grain, wheat, and barley falls, they think it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner time. And then when they hear the trains on the tracks we're utilizing, they are trained to come much closer, and it can turn into a train safari, especially the time of year you're going. So definitely exciting to experience that. And the closer you get to the Canadian Rockies, or around the spiral tunnels and right afterwards, that's where you're going to have some great chance to see some bears, which is going to be quite exciting. You'll be arriving in Kamloops between 5 and 6:30 p.m. The hosts and hostesses on board are not just going to drop you off and say, okay, take care. They're going to give you a map of all of downtown Kamloops. It will be illustrated and show you all the different restaurants, which there's over 30 restaurants, all within walking distance. You can cover Kamloops in less than an hour. It's a couple blocks in length. There's a great restaurant there called The Blind Pig. It's my favorite. Local cuisine, local brewery, great food. There's a beautiful park a block away from downtown Kamloops with a river right there. You can see at the bottom of your screen. That would be the best place to check out the sunsets, which are just beautiful. Orange, pink, purple, violet colors light up the skies every night, especially in the spring. So really a beautiful time to get over to Kamloops, and the weather will be perfect and the sunsets will be gorgeous. Board the train the next day, but around 9 a.m., arriving in beautiful Banff between 5 and 6:30 p.m. would be the average amount of time that you'll be going on there. Both days on the train, you're having breakfast and lunch served to you on board. When you arrive there over into the Banff, you'll be staying at the Moose Hotel and Suites. This is beautiful Banff. It's nestled around a ton of different Rocky Mountains. That's Mount Grundle that's in your picture right there. And the hotel, what's it called? The Moose Hotel and Suites is literally right in the heart of downtown. You can be about 2 blocks away from the main strip. You can, if you have any mobility concerns, you don't want to walk, you can use your hotel room key to get a free shuttle transfer to and from downtown Banff and back to the hotel, or you can walk literally a block. I think it's maybe a block and a half, and you're in the heart of downtown. So very convenient, fantastic location. And the Moose Hotel and Suites was also renovated and upgraded back in 2019. So a fresh new feel. There was nothing happening in 2020, so the property is at pristine quality, to say the least. Next day, you'll be waking up at your hotel and doing an incredible full day sightseeing tour, taking you back over to Lake Louise. We don't use yellow buses or Greyhound buses. We have a fleet of motor coaches operated by Brewster. These have all been refurbished back in 2018 and 2019. Wood grain paneling throughout, leather seats throughout the entire coach, TV so you can see what the driver sees up ahead, a drink station on board to stay well hydrated. Of course, if you drink too much, you know what you got to do. So there's a restroom on board as well. And you'll have a tour guide with you, answering all the questions about what's coming up ahead, what's outside your window, keeping you well informed on everything throughout your whole entire experience while on board. This Yoho National Park tour will take you over to the incredible Emerald Lake Lodge. You'll also have a group lunch there at the Emerald Lake Lodge, which is going to be a great little sighting. With the lake is just beautiful, also around Rocky Mountains and everything. You're going to see some incredible waterfalls on this tour, and then you're going to be going finally over to Lake Louise. You'll have a group photography set up for you, so you'll have a great group image of all of you at this beautiful lake. This is right next to the Chateau Lake Louise. It's a Fairmont property where you'll have also some time to explore that and walk around the outlying layers of the lake. There's some beautiful walking trails. If you go to the end, it's about a waterfall right there. It's really just beautiful. Returning that evening for Banff, where you have some more evening time at free. And then the next day, it's a full day to enjoy Banff, because there's so much to see and do. There's caves, there's museums, there's tons of specialty shopping, 30 to 40 restaurants all within walking distance. You'll have breakfast at your hotel like every day. So the most important meal of the day is taken care of. And of course, you'll have a national park pass to explore everything to your wanting desire. There's great walking trails. There's some really beautiful waterfalls nearby. It's such a great little town to explore and walk around and to navigate. You'll have hot springs that you also can take advantage of. Those are on the side of Sulphur Mountain. So another thing you can definitely do on your free day for sure. The next day you will be leaving Banff, but before you leave Banff, we want to give you another tour and show you some of the other areas that are on the outside areas of Banff that you can't really walk to. First, starting with a gondola ride, taking the top of Sulphur Mountain. Even though it may be nice and perfect weather on the ground level, up in the mountains in Sulphur Mountain, it could be in the 40s and 50s. There could be snow. Actually, probably will be snow. So it's always, I think, smart to bring layers, because layers is key to staying warm. You'd hate to go there and not be able to go outside and get these amazing pictures, because the top of Sulphur Mountain offers extremely beautiful landscape photography of downtown Banff and the outlying glaciers all around, which is really, really cool. Then you're going to go see Bow Falls. You'll see the hoodoos, some other lakes in the area before heading over to the Heritage Museum. This is a 127-acre, Canada's largest living museum. Living meaning that we have people who are dressed the part, showing you the history and the cultural of what it was back in the day, with wagon rides and everything else like that. You will have a lunch here at the Heritage Museum on your way over to Calgary. And when you get to Calgary, you'll be staying at the Delta Calgary Hotel, which you can see that property. If you look at that circle building on the bottom left of your screen, the hotel next to it says Delta. That's your property. Calgary is known for the Calgary Stampede. That's later on in the summer, but it's also known for its barbecue food. And there's some great barbecue restaurants right down on the street level of the Delta Hotel, the Delta Calgary Hotel. So fantastic location, which is really, really ideal. You'll be able to explore the evening here, hopefully have a nice dinner with the group at one of those barbecue restaurants, and next day have breakfast with everyone, talking about your experiences. And then sadly, you will have to go back home. And the airport is just about 20 minutes away from downtown Calgary. And then you'll be flying back to life. But still, spring. Let me tell you why I love the May. It's my favorite time frame. One, it does rain a little bit more in April, not so much May. The rain brings May flowers. So you're going to get a lot of flowers, a lot of incredible greenery. There still will be snow present on the mountains, which could be quite beautiful. The temperatures are average mid-70s during the day, mid-60s at night. That's just average temperatures to give you an idea. But the real fun part is the statistically wildlife sightings. At its most robust. Statistically, there will be more bear sightings by far during April and May than any other time in the season that we operate. So for wildlife, it's a great opportunity to go and check out this beautiful area. Plus, it's less crowds, less traffic. The busiest time frames to travel up here is June through September. May is one of those little off seasons where you won't get as much congestion or traffic, and that's a big plus. If you're trying to take a picture of a bear and you got to fight a crowd over it, I think that's a tough one. So just being real with you, I love traveling in May. I've done it 4 times in the past. When it comes to our awards and recognitions, maybe some of you've heard of TripAdvisor, a place where people spew hate and anger and negative feedback. It's a rating of 0 to 5, 5.0 on TripAdvisor. We've maintained a 4.5 or higher on TripAdvisor over the past 31 years. We have more awards and accolades than the Orient Express. National Geographic has given us best train trip to take now several years in a row. So all this means to you is peace of mind. Whether you travel with us in several years or you travel with us on this amazing group that Denise put together for you, where she thought of everything, know that we are going to do whatever it takes to make a true trip of a lifetime. You're going to have the most amazing experience, and I cannot wait to welcome you on board the Rocky Mountaineer. So just to kind of revisit everything that this whole entire tour includes, you're looking at superior hotel accommodations. All the transfers are totally into the cost. Gratuities are all built into the cost as well. Gold Leaf service, that's our top of the line custom designed coaches. Train hosts dedicated to making your onboard experience memorable is all also built into the cost. The only daylight travel train that we that is out there offering. The rest of them, you sleep on board at night, and sometimes sleeping on board is not the best sleep, and you're missing what's happening outside, which is so key. Breakfast daily, 2 lunches, as well as on board the train, and lunches throughout the different experience that I referenced throughout this presentation. You have multiple sightseeing tours, and just so much activity. Everything is really built into the cost, except the airfare. But of course, Denise can talk on that, and I would love for her to, of course, if there's anything you would like me to go further on, Denise, or if you'd like to share some more information, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, thank you, Jeff. That was fantastic. And I was smiling through the whole thing because I really wanted this trip to go in May because of those animals. And, I've had travelers go during that time and seeing the baby bears walking with mama. And it's a once in a lifetime experience to see that. And the other thing that I like to remind people is that unlike here in the Northeast, spring in Canada, this is rainforest. So it's still going to be very, very green. So even though it's very high up north, everything is very green because it's the rainforest. So it's still going to be really, really pretty. So I was very excited. That was my favorite part of the presentation. It always is. But I would love to get into some questions because I'm sure that there's some folks that have some questions that they would love to ask. So yeah, I think we should just jump into that.
All right, so you can easily unmute yourself, or you can use the chat box, the Q&A box. I don't see anyone using the chat box or Q&A, but there's no such thing as a bad question. To unmute yourself, there's a little mic, kind of usually bottom left or top, depending how your computer is or your phone is. Everyone's using the computer today. You can just click that microphone button, and then you'll be able to talk. Are there any questions? While you guys think of questions, just so you're aware, for mobility concerns, know that we have elevators and lifts on all of our train cars, including the Gold Leaf car. Let those mobility concerns Denise know so that we can be able to make sure you're set up from beginning to end. I do have a Q&A that just did pop up on my screen. Is it warm enough to wear sandals? You know what, to each his own, because some people come from more northern places where it's much colder. I come from Florida, where anything below 70 and I'm freezing. So I think you have to kind of do what you think is I guess best for you, what your most your body is used to. So it really truly depends on where you come from and what type of cold you can handle, because I think sandals are very comfortable to wear, especially on vacation. And if it's mid 70s, I think for most people that can be sandal weather. So it may not be a bad idea to pack a pair just in case the weather is just perfect and you're like, I'm so happy I have them. And sandals thankfully don't take up that much weight. So, but it's really a to each his own type of question. I hope that helps answer that one, Linda. Thank you so much for that question. Also, in regards to food allergies, dietary restrictions, please let us know as well. We will do whatever we can to accommodate those concerns of yours, and just let Denise know so that we can make sure that we are set and ready on our end, especially if there's any food allergies out there. Any other questions?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Jeff, I just want to circle back to that. What should I pack is a big question we get. And you said layers, and I always say layers. And it's comfy, right? Even though this is a luxury train travel, and these are, I mean, the meals are going to be like just beyond. You do not need to be wearing a suit and tie. You do not need to be wearing a dress or heels. You should be comfortable. So I always think like country club casual. So, you know, just whatever is the most comfortable for you. Because you just want to be able to be mobile, especially with shoes, so you can see all those great sights and sounds. So I always think a great pair of sneakers, some khakis, some shirts, some nice sweaters or jumpers, and then a lightweight jacket are all things that you should be packing.
Yeah, so I did have a question come up, and honestly, Denise, you answered it really well about how
Mhm.
casual is the train. It's literally, there's no dress up nights or anything like that. Some people want to because that's in their mentality and they want to look their best, and that's great. And other people can be, honestly, I think jeans is just perfect. Be comfortable, be who you are. Also, is there much rain in May? There's more rain in April. If you look at statistics wise, it's more of a rainy season in April. May, not so much at all. It really warms up quite quickly. The ice tends to melt right away. Even if there is ice on some of the lakes, that beautiful turquoise color still comes through with that glacial silt underneath. So whether it be with ice on top or just melting away or not there at all, that blue color that everyone loves to get pictures of is still there. But when it comes to rain, it's much less than what it would be in April. If it does, it might just be for a quick shower here and there. It doesn't usually a full day of rain. That's very rare. But I would say April's more inclined to rain. May, not so much. May brings, honestly, the beautiful flowers. It just has a much warmer climate. And it's not a bad idea to have like a rain jacket or something just in case for that day that it may happen. But know that it's my favorite time to go. And usually when I've gone in May, let me think. I've been here for up to 8 years. I've done the trip in May four times, and I don't think it rained once. So that's a pretty amazing statistic right there. And that's just me being candid and transparent with you. So of course, nature has its own way, but I've been also there when it snowed, and that was beautiful, but it wasn't rain. So yeah.
So while we're waiting for some more questions to come over, I would love to ask you a little bit about Kamloops, because I think many of our travelers are not familiar with Kamloops at all. And I just think it's such a charming town. So could you tell us a little bit more about Kamloops?
Sure. I mean, as much as I know, which isn't much, but so you will be told from the host and hostess on board all about what Kamloops is known for and everything. It's a really big sporting town. And for this small little town, there's a huge arena there where there's a lot of ice hockey fans, and they have a big hockey team and everything. So very sports driven. There are the the Canadian Mountaineers, the guys on horseback that will welcome you when you pull into the Kamloops station. It's also just a really quaint, nice town. It's also very unique in topography because it's not in that wooded area. You see that the picture before, and I can go back to it, but it's very dry, not as much brush. It's more like rolling hills, and the hills are quite large. Almost, I would call them mountains, but they're called hills there. And it can, in the summer, reach over 110 degrees. So really hot, actually, and just a very dry, unique climate. You get a lot of big horned sheep around this area, and usually I've seen a lot of them climbing around these different rolling hills, if you will. But the thing that everyone loves is the sunset, which I referred to earlier. And some of the local food that it's offered in these small towns. My favorite's the Blind Pig, which is in the heart of downtown. And this is the only place where your hotel will not be assigned until 30 to 45 days prior to your departure. All the rest of the places do have a hotel. That's why I didn't mention it before. But if you know more, Denise, about Kamloops, please, I welcome you to give some feedback, because I've gone there so many times, but I just, I've done the usual, what I always do, and it's amazing. But,
Right. I've heard so much about the restaurant that you mentioned and the food there, and then just how it's just a cool sort of like gold rush town. It's not kind of like anything that we've experienced here, and we love hockey up here, so that's great. And seeing the Mounties and things like that. So I've had a lot of people say they had no idea what to expect in Kamloops, but actually was a highlight of the trip.
Nice. I love it. Usually I always hear the Lake Louise and Banff where they're like, wow, like just the times where you go into like, wow, and you appreciate where you are and you
Oh
slow
yeah.
things down. Kamloops, you're going to get there in the evening. You'll leave first thing in the morning. A question that came up is, do we have to get up early for this trip? Well, for the days that the train departs, usually you'll be picked up around like, I would say 8:15 or so, because with traffic in downtown Vancouver. For Kamloops, it's a little easier. So that may be an 8:30 pickup or something. But we try to get to the train 15 minutes prior to their departure. Just keeping that in mind. Breakfast will be served on board the train, so you don't have to waste time in the morning for those early mornings where we're picking you up. But when you get your full itinerary, it will tell you the exact times of pickups and everything. Some days are earlier than others, but just because we've jam-packed so much different touring and sightseeing, we want you to do as much as possible while you're in the area. And there are some days of free time, like in Banff, where you can sleep until afternoon if you like, and regain all that sleep you lost along the whole entire way. I don't recommend it because there's so much to see and do in Banff, but we are able to at least slow time down and allow you to do things at your own accord, especially if you're losing sleep. And we don't want you to be super tired. We want you to be wide awake for this whole entire experience. So having those free days of leisure is really, really huge. The majority of the time, the earliest days will be boarding the train. So I hope that answered that question.
Yes, and to relax in Banff, definitely visit the hot springs. That's a great way to do it.
Now, Linda, you did unmute yourself. Do you have a question, or I'm not sure if you meant to do that or not?
I wanted to know if we were expected to wear masks.
Great question. So it comes down to what the government mandates, honestly. And so currently right now in 2021, they are mandating this similar to what airlines do and everything, unless you are drinking and eating. Now, what I've seen people do, and I myself have been also guilty of, is that if you're holding a drink, a beverage, you don't have to have a mask on. You can be, reasonable. Everyone's going to be fully vaccinated and everything. But, so when you're drinking or eating, there's no mask necessary. When you are not, and you're, walking around the train, like if you're going from your seat to downtown to go to the restroom, downstairs to go to the restroom, or going outside to the outdoor veranda space, they ask you to put a face mask on, and that is for 2021. We don't know yet what 2022 will outline, what the mandates are. This is literally something that's not controlled by us. It's the government. We are a train company that has to follow the guidelines of what the government does. And so much like on an airline, we're not going to be as strict as most airlines. Of course, if we see someone who's not wearing their mask whatsoever, we may have to say, please, can you use your mask? Or we'll give you a mask to wear if you didn't bring one. But we have to follow what the government mandates. So please know that it's out of our control. Hopefully we'll have some good guidance moving into 2022. Hopefully, honestly, there'll be some great new pills invented, things like that will help put COVID in the past. And that hopefully will be coming very, very soon, because I know I'm investing in several companies that are doing this. And I'm just being optimistic and positive that we can't always live in fear. There's always going to be viruses and pandemics, and it's about managing that. And I think doing what's best for you and your family. So that's my personal, I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, you know what I'm going. Does that help answer that question, Linda?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for all your great questions. I really appreciate it.
Yes. So what I've been telling everybody is let's plan for what the mandates are now, but keep our fingers crossed that things will evolve by the time we depart. And I do think they will. So I did want to just circle back with you about the accessibility. I have had several people ask about it, so I have shared the link from the Rocky Mountaineer site. But the good news is that, Rocky Mountaineer has worked to make everything accessible. We do need to make sure that we fill out those forms and things like that. But in terms of the tours, what would you say the activity levels are for the day tours that we do?
I mean, it's honestly minimal. The walking that you're going to be experiencing is going to be probably no less than 500 feet per stop. Now, 500 feet will be a stretch. So no more than 500 feet is what I meant to say. No less, no more than 500 feet per stop. So our average demographic is honestly in the mid 60s or so. That's just being real and candid with you. 82% married, 69% retired. So we even have people who are wheelchair bound, and we can switch their seat with the wheelchair, and we have lifts and everything, so we can offer them the exact same touring and experiences that everyone else who has no mobility concerns with someone who is wheelchair bound. So just to show you that there's ramps, there's ways to get, from all the different areas. People who use walkers or canes, all that is very, easily handled, and we'll be able to make sure that you're able to experience everything the Canadian Rockies have to offer. There are other add-on tours, which you didn't choose, that are more active, more full tour, like hiking and such. There's whitewater rafting, there's cycling tours, there's things like that this group is not doing. But know that if you are extremely active and really want to do a bunch, we can do that. But this group is really focusing on the most popular, the most raved and reviewed tours people love. And they're really bundled so well into the whole entire package, where when you're transferring from hotel to hotel, that's where predominantly the majority of the tours are taking place, to see all the different sights and scenery on your way. You'll be able to enjoy where you are when you get to your hotel, but we're trying to get you to see all the amazing sights that you can't really see if you were just going to your hotel and that's it. So that's what it really comes down to. But it's minimal when it comes to how active, to be quite honest with you. And if you are super tired, there's been people who I know get tired easily, and they can't get off every 15 to 20 minutes and look at different sites. You can stay on the bus. You're not being forced to do anything. You do whatever you wish. And if you can take a few steps to get off and take a picture or something, I think it's well worth it, because the sites are just so memorable and beautiful.
That's great. And that's what I've been sharing with everybody. So thank you for reiterating.
Yeah, happy to. There's no such thing, like I said, as a bad question. And it's an amazing trip. I want to go. So if you have space, maybe I'll go. Any other questions? Last call.
So Linda asked, how many miles will we cover?
Oh, I missed that. Sorry. Thank you. Good call.
That's okay.
How many miles? I don't know. Great question. I can find out for you exactly what that is going to look like.
I have Googled this. The distance between Vancouver and Calgary is just a little over 900 miles.
You knew the answer. I had no idea.
I did. So I knew that one.
After I was done with this, I was going to Google and do that exactly and send you the quick answer, because it's not up on my screen or anything. So great one. Just over 900. So good to know for future. That's a good trivia question.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I want to say it was 914, but I'm not 100% sure. I knew it was just over 900, but then we'll add in some miles here and there to visit some of those extra sites that we want to visit with our group, to see those outlying areas. So yeah, so we'll say about 900 miles.
Love it. So real quick, I want to mention that if any of you saw this and really thought it was a great little presentation, and the details were amazing, and you would love to share this with any friends or family, please do reach out to Denise. She will have a link to this presentation, so she'll be able to share that with you, so you can share with anyone you want, and they can watch the time that works best. And honestly, once again, thank you, Denise, for all of your time and putting this together, and making this trip of a lifetime happen. I know we had to wait a couple years, but it's well worth the wait. It's going to be here before you know it, and very excited to have you up there. So anyway, thank you all again for your time, and I'll close it with Denise ending us tonight, or today. So go ahead, Denise.
Yeah, so thank you to Jeff for taking the time to go through the presentation, and thank you to everybody who joined in. I will send out this link via email, so those of you who are receiving our emails, you'll get this link as well if you would like to share this with anybody. We'll also post it in the Senior Radio Buffalo Facebook group as well, so please like and share that so that everybody can see it.
Take care, everyone. Stay safe and travel.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.